and welcome. This is Movie.Cast. This is a podcast where we talk all about films. I'm Mike, and this is my co-host Amber.
Hello.
Hello. This is probably the most frustrating news report I heard this week. Saw
For you.
8, for me.
Yeah.
Saw 8 has been officially confirmed in all aspects. Basically, they are looking to.
Saw Legacy.
Yeah, Saw Legacy is starting production. Hopefully later this, not hopefully, but they should be starting it later this year. Lionsgate is, of course, behind it. They add directors for it, I believe. There were two conflicting reports I heard about that, but either way...
That's like the same people that have been doing it.
No, well, it's the same producers.
Yeah.
Oren Coles and Bergman, even though I think it's just Oren and Coles.
Yeah. All I know
again,
is James Wan was the one that directed the very
right,
first
but
movie,
they're
and
not
that's all I
involved
know.
in this one, though.
Which is
from what we've heard, which is a bad thing.
He's too talented director to be doing this series that should have
Well,
just
but he
died.
started that series.
I know he did, but he did
that
the best one out of all of them, which was the first Saw movie, and then it was like, that's it. I'm going to go and do other awesome movies.
So it's been 6 years since the last Saw movie. They wrapped up. I expressed my disbelief on our social media, but it's just like there are zero story threads that they have left to unravel. Literally every single plot hole you can possibly think of, any sort of mystery that is left in the storyline they've established, is all wrapped up. It's all done. Mm-hmm. There's nothing. And that's what I'm just like racking my brain what they're going to do, because, okay, first of all, if you haven't seen any of the Saw films at this point, I'm going to spoil this.
Just see the first one.
I say see the first 3. But if you haven't,
I stopped at 3.
This is going to be a spoiler. Yeah. The main villain has been dead since Saw 3, and we are about to hit Saw 8. John Kramer's total screen time in the last Saw movie was 5 minutes. And he is the lead villain. He is always the one on the advertisements, and yet
or the puppet face.
Well, or the puppet
whatever
face.
Whatever what's its name?
Billy the puppet.
Yeah. Maybe it's Billy.
No, but he's
maybe it's Billy.
He's Jigsaw's puppet.
Yeah, but maybe Billy is possessed by Jigsaw's ghost, and he's taking over Billy's body.
That would be terrible.
Listen, they made a movie called Annabelle.
They did, but...
And it's basically the worst thing ever compared to The Conjuring.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
The Conjuring's great.
Annabelle was horrible. I'm not a big horror movie fan. This is the only real series that's considered horror, and it's not even really horror. It's kind of a gory thriller.
It's horror because
it is. But I'm saying that's why I'm more of a fan of this than standard horror movies, because it's not actually horror.
Horror is subjective.
It is.
And I feel like Saw came out around, I believe, the same time as Hostel. And that was when you were getting torture porn. And torture porn in its own is another subgenre.
But Saw did not start off as torture porn. Because if you watch the first movie closely.
No, I know.
Every time they went to do something gory or bloody, they cut away from it. Instead, like when he's sawing off his leg, they didn't show they showed a little bit, but other than that, they showed the shot of the character. It wasn't until...
No, that's because James Wan, again, is a very good director.
And it wasn't until...
Everything else has gotten... But it's still...
It wasn't until the corporate suits took over and we need to make this torture porn now. That's what it grew into, but it didn't start off that way.
No, it was just a very interesting...
Yeah.
I mean, I still consider Saw, to me, at least the first one, if we just think of, because I feel like that one is still the best movie out.
Oh, I agree.
And usually a lot of horror movie series, because I am a horror fan. And
the first one's always best.
I've seen a lot of horror movies.
Yeah.
But Saw is one of those series where, and I've seen a lot of the series, like some of the Paranormal Activity, and the only reason that Saw probably ended where it was because Paranormal Activity came out and stole their thunder, and they took over the Halloween season. Because if you know exactly, every October around Halloween, or just that month, new Saw movie would come out, and that would dominate the box office. Paranormal Activity came in, and they kind of took the spot that Saw did, because people obviously were getting, after a while, it's just once you're getting onto like the 5th or 6th movie,
I mean,
it's the same shtick. But you know what?
It is.
Paranormal Activity had the same thing because I don't think they made Paranormal Activity. I don't think that's been in the lineup.
But again,
it's going to recycle now.
Right, they are. Yeah, well, all sort of horror films go through this cycle.
Yeah.
I mean, you had the Halloween films went on and on and on and on until they finally stopped.
Friday the 13th,
Right.
Nightmare on Elm Street, Saw,
Just like
Paranormal
you said,
Activity.
Paranormal
They're they're all in the same vein. Scream, kind of. I mean, Scream doesn't have as many movies, but
that's
still,
the thing. Like
you
the
can only do
last
so
film
much.
was back in 2010, and it's you can tell it was written to be the end of the series. You could tell it was.
Well, listen,
it absolutely was.
That's typical in a horror movie series.
Yes.
They have the one that you think is going to end. They
but the
literally
problem
had
is-
one called Freddy's Dead. It was supposed to be the last one. You know what happened after that?
They
Freddy's
made more.
Nightmare came back, and then Freddy versus Jason came back.
And okay,
They had
again,
one called Jason Goes to Hell.
again. That's pretty bad.
Jason came
That's
back
pretty bad.
into space, and he also fought Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
And then he came back in a reboot. So did Freddy.
And
They never end that way.
And that's what I'm reading here is that the Lionsgate was looking into possibly rebooting the series
Yeah.
or something, and they just decided to make another.
Yeah.
But the problem is the way they left it. Like, okay, if you saw the series, you know Lawrence Gordon, and again, sorry spoilers if you haven't seen it. But basically, he was the guy who cut off his leg in the first movie. He crawled away, and then you didn't hear him about him throughout the rest of the series up until the last movie.
Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Right, exactly. That Carrie Yules. That Carrie Yules.
The prince.
That same Carrie Yules.
As you wish.
Right,
Robin, a princess.
And then he shows up in the last movie, and he is now the one who's carrying on Jigsaw's legacy, basically. Exactly.
So
basically,
is
he was
coming?
converted.
He's coming back.
Wait, but that's the thing. They left it as he being the only remaining tie to Jigsaw. They killed off all of the other remaining ties. And again, more spoilers. Sorry, Jigsaw's wife. Whatever his name was, the detective. Amanda.
Mark Wahlberg.
No. The guy who took over after Amanda.
I don't know.
Which
I only
you
saw
may not
3.
have seen, but
I just saw 3, and I was like, I'm
can't remember what
done.
his name is. I know the actor is
Donnie Wahlberg, sorry.
Costellus Mandalore, but I don't remember what his character name was.
Danny Glover's gone too.
Well, yeah, but that was back in the first one.
I know.
But he was actually killed in the first one,
Which
though.
should have told you something, everybody. When Danny Glover's gone.
But so seriously, this guy's the only remaining link to Jigsaw. So I've been trying to rack my brain about this.
So it's going to go
Is
with
it
him.
really going to be him? Do we really want to watch a Saw movie with Carrie Yules as the main villain? I don't. That would be so dumb. Nobody even cares about Carrie Yules anymore. He's had his time. It's past. It's gone. Nobody cares about him anymore.
Nobody cares about Saw anymore.
No, people do. They still went to go see him. I went to still go see him.
You saw it.
But
I saw the first movie in the theater. Loved it. Blown away. Thought it was one of the best horror movies that year. Still is one of the better. Like is a great movie. I can't fault it. That was generally one of the few horror movies that I was shocked.
And
ending.
And one of the things I'm reading here is that one of the rumors is that it's supposed to answer unanswered questions about Lawrence Gordon. And I'm just sitting there like,
why do I care?
What unanswered questions?
Listen,
he was converted by Jigsaw. It was explained.
Listen.
What's left?
It's a horror movie. Nobody cares about solving mysteries. They just want to see how it's torture porn. Everybody just wants to see the blood.
I will say this. I still made a point to at least see them at some point, but it was because I wanted to see where they were taking the overarching story. That's the only reason why I kept watching these movies.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't understand what they're going to do with this. They can't possibly do any more flashbacks with Jigsaw because they have run out. That is empty. They are done. You only had Jigsaw in there for 5 minutes, and it wasn't even that long.
Yeah.
Like he was literally only in there for a few minutes. That's it. And Tobin Bell is old at this point, so can he really do the role anymore anyway? We don't.
He just wears the pig mask. It doesn't matter. Do you know how many actors they went through for Jason? So many. It doesn't matter because he's wearing a mask.
Yeah, but he was wearing a mask. Jigsaw doesn't wear a mask.
It doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't have to be Jigsaw. It can be somebody else. No, I understand your point. It doesn't matter. I think.
But it does.
But you're not. Would you say you're a horror fan though?
No, but.
And I think that's the point. Is from your stance, you're not seeing it as just like a horror fan. You're seeing it as you generally got caught up into the plot, the story, the legacy, the mythos of it.
Right, but
where
all
other
of them
people
is, but see, the thing is, it's all still stemming from this, though.
No,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
but
the plot is still continuous from this because, like, they've done some where, like, Saw 4 took place on the same day as Saw 3 did.
Yeah.
So they had both of those stories going at once.
Yeah, but
so
again,
that's like.
That's typical.
Again,
everything that you're
so
complaining, like your thing is, that's typical in a horror movie series.
Yeah.
They have like all these questions like that. You could complain about that with the Friday the 13th series. You can complain about that with Halloween. All this stuff.
I guess. I guess Jigsaw was just such a such a great character.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he was dying of cancer and he had a legitimate motive and philosophy that wasn't just, oh, well, somebody did something bad to me, so I want to get revenge on them. No, he actually had a life philosophy that he was acting out, and that was so unique. You know, it was very unique for the horror genre.
In the end, somebody else could just be like, well, they can just say, well, that could be the same thing with Freddy Krueger. He was unique because he got you in your nightmares. He was this kind of demonic ghost.
But
his whole thing was he was going after the children of the parents of the
but that was
had attached to him. But there was
but that was a specific revenge plot, though.
Well,
you know what I mean?
He kept on going. So everybody. So then the question should go is like, why does he keep on going? Then they bring in Nancy back, and then Nancy and him and everything. It goes crazy. You'll make yourself go crazy. Same with Friday the 13th with Jason. He kept on coming back. Why did he keep on coming back? Why is he a man when he died as a boy? Nobody knows. People ask questions. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's a horror movie. The plot behind it doesn't matter.
I guess.
Spoiler alert.
I don't
Jason comes back.
Oh God, what have I done?
I feel like maybe you should just watch a lot of horror movies. Maybe you should go through, watch those series, and be like, I understand now. Why Saul is doing this. It's just a profit.
I get it. But it's still just disappointing.
It's just,
That's just how you are disappointed with Ghostbusters, or with what it looks like they're doing.
That's
same thing.
Ghostbusters just had 2 movies. They didn't have 8,
and that's fine. But I'm just saying, this movie is doomed to suck. That's what I'm saying. Is that Saw 8 Saw Legacy is doomed to suck.